I sat at my desk, the faint hum of the office chatter swirling around me like a distant storm. The fluorescent lights flickered above, casting a harsh glow on the rows of cubicles, each one a small fortress of ambition and anxiety. My fingers danced nervously over my keyboard, but my mind was trapped in a whirlwind of confusion and disbelief. Just moments ago, I had been removed from an essential email thread by none other than Mark, my colleague and once trusted ally. Why would he do that? I, I muttered under my breath, the taste of betrayal souring in my mouth. This wasn't just about a simple miscommunication. It was a strategic move in a corporate game that I never signed up for. The project we were discussing held the key to our careers. For some, even our livelihoods. I couldn't let his actions go unchecked. Ignoring the chill creeping up my spine, I took a deep breath, reminding myself of the stakes. My mind raced with scenarios. Did he see me as a threat? Or was this just a dirty tactic to edge me out of the spotlight? No, I couldn't confront him directly. Not yet. Instead, I chose a path that was as risky as it was calculated. Grabbing a digital coffee cup filled with sheer determination, I forwarded the entire email thread to our legal department. Forward to legal, I clicked, feeling a weight drop in my stomach. A mix of dread and relief. What was I hoping to achieve? Justice? Validation? Perhaps a genie would pop out of my screen and grant me the answers I desperately sought. As the clock ticked away, I could feel tension mounting within me. The upcoming meeting would determine the fate of our project, and I could already envision how it would unfold. My colleagues would walk in, all polished smiles and rehearsed lines, while I, now cast in the role of the betrayed, would be left to navigate this murky sea alone. The meeting room was cold, the air thick with anticipation and freshly brewed coffee. Mark walked in, his demeanor casual, like he hadn't just pulled a rug out from under me. My heart raced, and I could sense the eyes of our colleagues flitting between us, curious about the charge in the air. "So, what's the latest on the project?" he asked, genuinely clueless, or so he wanted everyone to believe. The smile on his face felt like a thin veil hiding intentions more sinister. I cleared my throat. "It's all outlined in the email, Mark. You know, the one you so kindly removed me from." Gasps filled the room, but I didn't back down. There was a thin line between loyalty and justice, and right now I affected a defiance that was foreign to me. The discussion shifted, alliances forming subtly as colleagues exchanged glances, reading the room as carefully as a game of chess. Everyone felt the ripple of discomfort swelling. "What are you saying?" Mark's eyes narrowed, uncertainty flickering across his face like a shadow. It was in that moment that I realized I wasn't just fighting for my place, I was fighting for the truth. I could almost smell the fear and anticipation hanging in the air, unmistakably potent. As the meeting progressed, revelations began to unfold, each one heavier than the Ultima. Whispers of backdoor deals and secret agendas crept into our conversation, and inescapable questions arose. Who was really pulling the strings? I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that this seemingly innocent act would unravel layers of deceit lurking beneath our polished office facade. Just when I thought I had a handle on the situation, my phone buzzed, a thin veil of dread crawling through me as I read the message. "Meet me in the break room. We need to talk." Every instinct screamed at me that this was just the beginning. I had uncovered just enough to know that I had stepped into a world of turmoil and corporate intrigue, where trust was a distant memory and betrayal lurked behind every corner. But that's a story for another time, one filled with even deeper secrets and unexpected twists. Before we delve into the depths of the break room encounter, I urge you, double-check your subscription to our channel. You wouldn't want to miss the unfolding drama. Now, Let's unravel what comes next. I stepped out of the meeting room, adrenaline surging through my veins. The fluorescent buzz above seemed louder, the air thicker with anxiety. My mind raced as I replayed the confrontation with Mark. Every word, every look. I could still feel the weights of those furtive glances from my colleagues. Some were sympathetic, while others were shrouded in curiosity, possibly pity. As I made Mu Camino towards the break room, I felt a distinct chill creeping up my spine. I was being summoned, but by whom? I glanced at my phone again, but it was still just the same ominous message. Meet me in the break room. We need to talk. My heart pounded heavily in my chest as I pushed through the door. The break room was dimly lit, shadows dancing along the walls, as the hum of the refrigerator filled the silence. The scent of stale coffee mixed with the faint aroma of microwaved lunches wafted through the air like a ghostly reminder of our daily grind. I paused for a moment, my senses on high alert. "Did you come?" A voice abruptly pierced my thoughts. It was Jessica, one of the interns who had an uncanny knack for being in the right place at the right time. She looked nervous, glancing over her shoulder as if she expected someone to follow her. "What is this about?" I asked, my voice steady but my insides churning with unease. "It's about Mark. You need to know what he's planning," she whispered frantically, her eyes flickering with fear. "I know I shouldn't be talking to you, but I overheard something. He's not just trying to sideline you, he's trying to frame you." My stomach twisted into knots. Frame me? For what? She hesitated, biting her lip, the tension palpable as she glanced toward the door once more. "He's been spreading rumors about the project, saying you're the reason it's failing, that you're not keeping up with your responsibilities." I let out a sharp breath, a mixture of disbelief and rage bubbling up. "But I've been working on it day and night." "He's trying to divert the blame." Jessica nodded, her expression grave. "Exactly. I don't know why. Probably because he wants to take credit for the project himself. If it fails, he wants someone to blame." Every word she spoke was like a nail stabbing deeper into a wound I hadn't even realized had opened. I had always seen Mark as a colleague, even a friend at times, but this felt personal. "What do I do?" "Gather evidence, talk to people, show them the truth, before he gets to it first." Jessica's voice wavered as if she sensed the weight of what I needed to do. "But be careful, he's cunning, and he has allies." Before I could respond, I heard footsteps in the hallway, echoing ominously. "You have to go," she whispered urgently, glancing anxiously at the door. "I'll try to find out more, but don't trust anyone." I nodded, but a sense of dread washed over me. How deep did this rabbit hole go? I could feel the walls closing in, the weight of corporate sabotage settling on my shoulders like a heavy cloak. As I stepped back into the main office, I kept my head low. My colleagues had begun to assemble again, each of ellos, evidentemente, part do jogo, unaware of the silent war brewing beneath the surface. My gut churned, preparing me for the fight ahead. No sooner tinha sentado en minha mesa than my phone buzzed again, this time with an unknown number. I hesitated before opening it, a knot in my throat as I did. "Tonight is critical. Meet me at the park, midnight." My heart raced. My instinct screamed danger, but something deep inside gnawing at me urged that this could be pivotal. Suddenly, the stakes had risen. I wouldn't just confront Mark. I was stepping into uncharted territory. With the shadows creeping ever closer, I had to decide. Dive deeper into the chaos or retreat to safety. But then again, where was safety in a place like this? Before we plunge into this eerie midnight meeting, take a moment. Have you checked to ensure you're subscribed to our channel? You wouldn't want to miss how this tale unfolds under the cover of darkness. Now, let's venture forth into the unknown. I paced back and forth in my small apartment. the fluorescent lights casting an unsettling glare against the walls. The clock on the wall ticked ominously, a reminder of the time slipping away. Midnight was approaching, the hour that would either unravel the dangerous web Mark had spun or pull me deeper into it. My heart raced, a mix of anticipation and dread. "Focus," I whispered to myself, a mantra against the unease that bubbled beneath the surface. I grabbed my keys, the cold metal a stark reminder of reality. Outside, the night hovered thick and heavy, the streetlights flickering like they were nervous about my journey ahead. I took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of cool air mixed with the distant smell of rain-soaked asphalt. As I made my way to the park, the soft crunch of gravel beneath my feet became the only sound accompanying my thoughts. My mind was a flurry of possibilities. Who could be meeting me? Was it really someone who could help me, or would it just be another trap laid by Mark? The park loomed ahead, dark and empty, the wind rustling through the trees like whispers of caution. I could feel the hairs on my arms stand up as I stepped inside the shadowy realm, the stillness enveloping me. As I approached the bench where I was supposed to meet this mysterious figure, I felt an icy chill creep down my spine. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, their face only partially illuminated by the weak glow of a distant streetlight. "You came." The voice was a low murmur, laced with urgency. It was Liam, a colleague I hardly knew but had seen in passing meetings. My heart raced at the sight of him. "Liam, what's going on?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. "I overheard Mark talking to someone," he said, glancing behind him as if expecting someone to jump out from the darkness. "He's planning something big, and you need to be prepared." "Prepared for what?" I pushed, anxiety threading through my veins. "He's not just framing you. He's trying to sabotage your entire career. He's been feeding false information about you to upper management, claims that you've been underperforming," he explained, his words laced with urgency. "If he succeeds, it won't just be a promotion he gets. You could lose your job." My stomach churned. The weight of his words sank into me like a stone. "Why would you come forward with this?" "Because I saw how hard you work, and I knew it wasn't right," he replied, his eyes earnest but cautious. "But you need to act fast. People are starting to believe him." The silence hung between us, heavy with the implications of what I needed to do next. "What do I do now?" I asked, desperation creeping into my tone. "Gather proof," Liam urged. "Check your emails. Look for anything that can contradict his claims. You need to go straight to HR, and if you can, speak to others who have seen the truth about your work. But whatever you do, don't go after him publicly until you have real evidence. He's dangerous." Every tick of the park's grand clock sounded like a countdown. "I'll do it," I declared, adrenaline pumping through my veins. I couldn't let Mark win. I couldn't let his deceit snuff out the flame of my career. Just as I took a step backward, ready to leave, Liam grabbed my arm. "Wait, if Mark catches wind of this meeting, it could ruin everything." As if conjured by our fears, I heard footsteps echoing through the park. My breath caught as I turned to see a shadowy figure emerging from the darkness, their outline unmistakable. It was Mark. "Why are you meeting here?" he called out, his voice chilling. "What could possibly be so important that you had to discuss in secret?" I felt my heart drop. My instinct told me to run, but as I glanced at Liam, I saw a steely resolve reflected back at me. The stakes had risen, and now confrontation was inevitable. "Why are you following me?" I shot back, anger fueling my bravado. Mark smirked, his confident demeanor only serving to stir the tension. "Oh, I just wanted to check on what my favorite employee has been up to." "Hey, His words dripped with sarcasm, a wolf in sheep's clothing. With the confrontation looming, I had to make a choice. Would I stand my ground against him, or would I crumble under his pressure? But then again, was this just the beginning of something far more sinister than I had ever imagined? Before we dive deeper into this nerve-wracking showdown, let me take a moment to remind you. Have you ensured you're still subscribed to our channel? You don't want to miss how this fierce battle unfolds in the next chapter. Now, let's see how deep the darkness can go. I stood in the darkness of the park, adrenaline surging through my veins as Mark approached. Each step he took sounded like a drumbeat, marking an impending disaster. "Why are you meeting here?" he called out, his voice low and taunting. My heart raced as I tried to keep my composure, glancing at Liam beside me, whose expression mirrored my growing fear. What could possibly be so important that you had to discuss in secret? Mark's smirk only fueled the tension in the chilly night air. "Why are you following me?" I shot back, desperately trying to mask the quiver in my voice with defiance. "You really think this is about you?" His tone was laced with amusement. "You're just a pawn in my game." He stepped closer, and the shadows around us seemed to twist with menace. My favorite employee can't keep up the act for long. Liam shifted nervously, standing just a fraction closer to me. "We aren't afraid of you, Mark. We know what you're planning." Mark's eyes narrowed. "And what would that be? You think you're a threat to me? How cute!" His laughter echoed around us like a phantom, reminding me of how isolated I felt. "I'm not afraid anymore," I declared, surprising even myself. "You won't get away with this." The air shifted, thick with a palpable tension. I knew my words were a declaration of war, and I had crossed an invisible line. Would my courage be enough to counter Mark's wrath? "Careful, you might regret this," he sneered, stepping back as if to assess his next move. Suddenly, a rustling from the bushes caught our attention, and my heart dropped. Mark's amusement faded, replaced by a shadow of concern. What was that? Before I could react, figures emerged from the trees, their faces obscured by nightfall, closing in around us. My breath caught in my throat. A storm was brewing, and I had just unknowingly stepped into the eye of it. Before we find out if I can escape from this perilous situation, a quick reminder. Have you checked your subscription to our channel? You won't want to miss the jaw-dropping revelations and confrontations in the upcoming chapter. Now, let's see just how deep this conspiracy runs. The tension in the air was electric as I faced Mark and the shadowy figures emerging from the trees. "What do you want from us?" I demanded, my voice steadier than I felt. Mark chuckled, his eyes glinting with malice. "You really think this ends here? You've stirred the pot, and now you'll face the consequences." His menacing smile sent shivers down my spine. Liam moved protectively beside me, his fists clenched. "You're outnumbered, Mark. We won't let you walk away from this." But Mark merely shrugged, feigning indifference. "You think numbers matter? This is just a game for me. And remember, I always win." The weight of his words loomed over us, heavy with foreboding. I glanced at Liam, determination sparking in my chest. "We have proof. We won't let you get away with this." As I spoke, a siren pierced the night, and I felt a flicker of hope. The police were closing in. Mark's smirk faltered, and his bravado cracked. "This isn't over," he hissed, retreating into the darkness. As relief washed over me, I turned to Liam. We did it. But a trembling in my hands reminded me that the battle was far from over. Before we delve into what happens next, let's pause for a moment. Have you checked your subscription to our channel? Don't miss the shocking twists we have in store. Now, let's uncover the aftermath of this confrontation.